There is a profound mystery hidden in the quiet corners of the human experience. It is a space where logic meets deep emotional currents, a place that many try to map but very few truly understand. We often try to place people into neat little boxes. We give them labels, hoping that a few simple words can capture the entirety of their soul. But there is a specific type of mind that entirely resists this categorization. It is the mind of the INFJ personality. People call them mysterious, profound, and deeply empathetic. Society tries to figure them out, to dissect their traits, and to write manuals on how they operate. Yet, despite all the endless conversations and psychological studies, one unshakable truth remains. This unique mind can never be fully explained. You can study their habits. You can observe their quiet strength, their uncanny intuition, and their limitless capacity for care. But trying to translate the entire breathtaking landscape of their internal world into everyday language is like trying to capture the vastness of the ocean in a teacup. It simply does not work. Their mind is not just complicated. It is constructed on a completely different foundation. It moves in deep, invisible layers, much like the tectonic plates shifting beneath the earth. It is full of beautiful contradictions and emotional frequencies that do not always make sense to the naked eye. Even those who possess this rare mind often find themselves standing in silence, struggling to articulate the massive universe swirling inside them. They can carry a profound feeling for weeks, letting it steep in their soul before they can find the right words to express it. They see invisible threads connecting people, events, and histories, but they do not always know how to explain the tapestry they are witnessing. This is not confusion. It is a level of existence that transcends ordinary language. Today, we are going to explore the profound reasons why this mind remains beautifully out of reach. The first reason this mind is so impossible to pin down is its brilliant, bewildering paradox of social presence and absolute solitude. By their very nature, they are fiercely introverted. They require vast amounts of quiet time to heal, to process, and to simply breathe. Yet, if you were to see them in a room full of people they care about, you would swear they were the most outgoing person there. They smile warmly, they lead conversations with grace, and they make everyone around them feel deeply seen and comfortable. This immediate adaptation is incredibly similar to the profound Korean cultural concept of nunchi, the silent, instinctual art of reading a room and understanding the emotional temperature of others. Just like a person navigating the bustling, neon-lit streets of a busy Seoul night market with effortless grace, they blend perfectly into the social energy. But internally, their soul always longs for the quiet sanctuary of a secluded mountain temple. This flawless switching between two completely different worlds leaves observers completely baffled. How can someone be the glowing center of a community, yet remain an untamable lone wolf? The truth is, their social warmth is not a performance. It is an act of deep empathy. They adjust their energy because they want others to feel safe. But this beautiful sacrifice comes at a heavy cost. After the laughter fades and the room empties, they are left entirely drained, needing days of isolation to rebuild their energy. Because they mirror their environment so perfectly, no one ever really knows which version is the absolute truth. The outgoing friend and the silent observer are both real, existing side by side in a delicate, exhausting harmony. The third reason their mind defies explanation is their deeply nonlinear, intuitive way of thinking. The majority of the world thinks in a straight line. They walk up a staircase, taking one logical step at a time until they reach the top. But this rare mind does not use stairs. They somehow look at the entire building, the foundation, the roof, and the architecture all at the exact same moment. They experience sudden, powerful flashes of knowing. They will sense that a situation is going to end badly, or they will instantly know that a person is hiding a dark secret, and they are almost always remarkably accurate. But if you ask them to prove it, to show their mathematical work, they cannot do it. The answer simply arrived in their soul, fully formed. This process echoes the deep, cyclical wisdom found in ancient traditions, much like the profound resilience of families who survived the historical turbulence of the Korean War. Survival in those dark times was not based on linear logic. It was based on a collective, unspoken intuition, a deep sensing of the winds of change. knowing when to move and when to stand still based on a feeling in the gut rather than a map in the hand. This mind scans the world for invisible patterns. They notice the slight change in someone's breathing, a tiny shift in vocal tone, the heavy energy hanging in a silent room. Their brain quietly gathers thousands of these invisible puzzle pieces and suddenly clicks them into a perfect picture. To someone who requires hard facts and bullet points, this sounds like pure magic or complete nonsense. They ask why things happen on a soul level, searching for the universal meaning behind everyday pain. Because this intuition lives purely in the realm of feeling and vision, it is impossible to translate into the rigid language of ordinary logic. The fourth reason involves their extraordinary empathy, a blessing and a burden that completely dissolves the emotional boundaries between themselves and the world. They do not just understand what another person is feeling, they physically and spiritually absorb it. If they sit next to a friend who is silently grieving, they will walk away with a heavy chest, carrying that grief as if it were their own. This profound emotional blending is deeply reminiscent of the Korean cultural essence of Han, a profound, collective sorrow and injustice that resides deep in the soul, intertwined with Zhang, the incredibly powerful, invisible thread of compassion and unconditional attachment that binds humans together. Just as older generations carried the emotional weight of their entire family's survival, this personality type carries the silent suffering of humanity. They step into a room and instantly feel the emotional weather. But because they absorb so much, they often lose track of where the world ends and where they begin. They might feel suddenly anxious, only to realize later that they absorbed the anxiety of a stranger they passed on the street. This makes their own emotional landscape incredibly confusing to navigate. When someone asks them how they are doing, they might hesitate, because they have to sort through the emotions of their family, their friends, and society, just to find their own original feeling hidden at the very bottom. They become the ultimate healer, the quiet sanctuary for broken souls, but they often forget to protect their own borders. Explaining this sensation of carrying the invisible weight of the world to someone who has never felt it is like trying to explain colors to the wind. The fifth reason is the presence of incredibly rare and beautiful contradictions within their character. They are walking paradoxes. They hold the highest, most idealistic dreams for humanity, yet they are sharply realistic about the dark flaws of human nature. They crave a soul, deep, romantic connection with another human being, yet they will fiercely push people away to protect their absolute independence. They are incredibly forgiving, endlessly patient, and willing to give people 100 second chances. But they also possess a deeply terrifying boundary. Once a person crosses a certain line of betrayal or cruelty, they will enact the infamous door slam. They will completely and permanently erase that person from their emotional existence, walking away without a single drop of anger or regret. This duality is much like the breathtaking contrast found in modern South Korea, where a profoundly serene ancient wooden palace from the Joseon dynasty sits perfectly undisturbed right next to a towering, hyper-modern glass skyscraper. They are the past and the future, the softest silk and the hardest steel. They will doubt themselves constantly, lying awake at night wondering if they are doing enough for the world. Yet they possess an inner core of unshakable confidence when defending someone they love. Because society loves simple definitions, this constant shifting of energies makes them seem unpredictable. One person might describe them as an ambitious warrior, while another insists they are a gentle poet. Both are entirely true. Every time you think you have finally placed a label on them, they will gently turn a corner and reveal a completely different universe, proving that a true human soul cannot be confined by a single word. The final reason they remain an eternal mystery is the beautiful, protective mask they wear. Society calls them mysterious, but they are not trying to be secretive. They simply know that the world is not always a safe place for profound depth. So, they wear a warm, polite, incredibly helpful mask. They listen, they smile, and they offer brilliant advice. But that mask is merely the guardian standing at the gates of a vast private empire. This stoic grace mirrors the historical resilience of those who endured profound hardships, such as the painful eras of colonization and war. During those dark times, people learn to keep a calm, polite face to the outside world in order to survive, while fiercely protecting their deeply passionate, unbreakable spirit within the safe walls of their own homes. The INFJ does exactly this. They know that if they reveal the full intensity of their thoughts, their existential dread, their wild imagination, and their deep emotional pain, most people will be overwhelmed or dismissive. So, they test the waters. They offer a tiny drop of their true self to see how you handle it. If you judge them, they will quietly retreat back behind the fortress walls, and you will never see their true face again. Even to their closest loved ones, there is always a secret garden in the deepest part of their soul where no one else is allowed to enter. It is a sacred space of personal healing and pure imagination. You may know their favorite foods, their habits, and their laughter, but you only know the parts of them they have permitted you to see. Their true essence is a treasure buried so deep that it remains a beautiful secret even to time itself. When we look at all these incredible layers, it becomes brilliantly clear that this rare mind is not a puzzle meant to be solved. It is a breathtaking masterpiece meant to be experienced. Their shifting energies, their overwhelming inner universes, their magical intuition, their heavy empathy, their beautiful contradictions, and their protective grace all weave together into a tapestry of pure humanity. If you love someone with this mind, please stop trying to force them into a simple explanation. Do not demand that they translate their soul into ordinary words. Just sit beside them in the silence. Offer them a safe harbor where they do not have to wear the mask. And if you are the one carrying this profound mind within you, please hear this truth. Your complexity is not a flaw. Your inability to fit into the normal rhythms of society is not a failure. It is a quiet, magnificent strength. You carry the light of understanding in a world that often moves far too fast to see the beauty in the details. You are the bridge between the seen and the unseen. Just because others cannot fully chart the depths of your ocean does not mean your waters are not beautiful. It simply means you are rare. And rare things are not meant to be easily understood. They are meant to be deeply cherished. So let the mystery remain. Let your mind be the beautiful, unexplainable sanctuary it was always meant to be, shining quietly in the beautiful shadows of this world.